Myth 2.0, the podcast. And always remember, gentlemen, it's a motherfucking movie. So, guys, we're here in the middle of the year. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but summer's almost over. Winter's almost here again. Um, and a lot of guys have been, a lot of people normally harvest up for the winter. You plant your crops, when the fall comes, you harvest your crops, and in the wintertime, you reap what you sow. That's how it's supposed to be. But there's a lot of guys in the black community, black men, modern American black men who never been outside this country, never got to see the world. I know people who never left the state that I'm from. A lot of guys just miss out on opportunities of living life abundantly. You know, like letting a minor setback hold you back. A minor setback is something that, like a roadblock that gets in your way, you know. And instead of you trying to move the roadblock, go around the roadblock, you know, you end up just stopping at the roadblock. So, and a lot of times at that roadblock, success is right. A lot of times be right past that roadblock. You know, it's just like if somebody was to say something negative to you, and you decide that you want to feel bad about that. You just let it get to you. You just be like, oh, you know, I'm so hurt, But life goes on. And what I know is that this world that we live in America, you know, it's not free. We're not in a foreign country yet, guys, but we can get there. We're not in a country where we can live off 600-700 American bucks a month, you know. But we're gonna talk about that on another video because we're gonna be traveling. Eventually, we're gonna get them passports, and we're gonna, yeah, we got to. We have to see the world, you know. But what I'm seeing a lot of more men, modern American black men, and other men as well, Spanish brothers, falling victim to the streets, you know, falling victim to the streets, or falling victim to racism, letting people who probably don't like you hold you back, you know. Because guys, let me say this one time only. Nobody can hold you back. Honestly. The only person who can hold an individual back is that individual. This is not the 1500s where somebody's property. It's a game. And we're living in a game in America. And no matter what state you're in, you're gonna have to maneuver through all the BS to get where you need to go. A lot of people are comfortable. A lot of guys are comfortable. They ain't trying to do nothing. They ain't got nothing going on or nothing like that. But can you imagine? Can you imagine being in Southeast Asia? Can you imagine? You know, being in a different place where everybody else was. It was like you maneuver through all the smoke, and that's a lot of times what it is in America, guys. No matter where you go to, it's a lot of smoke. Whether it's in your workplace, and we have to learn how to maneuver through the workplace, through the smoke, through the people, through issues, through people coming in and out of your life every day, depending on what city you stay in. you know 9 times out of 10, if you in New York, you meet a lot more people every day. If you in a major city like New York or Miami or Chicago, you probably run through people every day, and that makes you even more strong. That makes you even stronger because you're maneuvering. If you can maneuver through the smoke, guys, like I was telling guys, if you came from a poor, not too many grandfathers ago, guys, not too many grandfathers ago. I come from a line. I'm from Africa. I'm an African American. But like a couple of grandfathers ago, my people were slaves. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, Ain't nobody holding us back. I could go so far into my family history, then it stops. I'm just saying, like some people can go back all the way to the 1500s, all the way to the beginning of time. If you go to a Caucasian person, you be like, "Where you from?" You be like, "Oh, I'm from Ireland, and the 1800s. My granddaddy this." But mine and a lot of other African American people, you know, if our families wasn't broken up the way they was, then somewhere down the line, you don't know who your great 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 grandfather is, or grandmother, or uncle, or great Grady aunties. We don't know. So the thing about it is, in America today, we have everybody here. There's everybody here in America. It's just like you got people here from India, from all over the world, who traveled all the way from somewhere to come here. And this is they went overseas and got their passports and came to America. And that's what we're doing at the same time. We're gonna passport up. And honestly, like if it wasn't for my child support, if it wasn't for my child support and the marriage that I'm going through and my kids, you know, um, like I'm in a position where I can't leave the country just yet. I'm not saying that it's like I still can get a passport, I still can leave the country, but right now I'm not financially able to leave the country because of the child support. You know, me having to pay child support. So right now I'm just working on establishing residual income and saving up money and investing and stuff like that, guys. But there's places in this world that a lot of people you're walking by that you see on the daily, they're not going in the same direction that you're going in. You know, you might be in the Philippines. You might be in the Philippines laid up with beautiful, pure Filipino chicks who's happy. You don't see people fighting. You see in America, everything goes here in America, guys. You know. But the other side of it, we had a message that came through uh, from Kevin J. E- Every now and then, I like to drop some knowledge with you, brother. This economy is fuck. People is doing bad, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, each and every one of us has a choice. Um, each and every one of us has a choice, and there's gonna be people out of the billions of people that's that you probably never see or you might see. You're gonna have to counsel the noise out. Yeah, you gotta have to counsel the noise out. You're gonna have to start grinding. You know, you're gonna have to figure out whether you want to go out to eat, or you're gonna sacrifice going out to eat for a couple weeks or a couple months, uh, and eat canned tuna and viennas and oodles and noodles. It's not that you're broke. It's not that you're broke. You can have three, four, $5,000, but sometimes you have to sacrifice to level up. You know, and Kevin J said, I was blessed enough to go to Medellin and Cartagena, Colombia last month for 2.5 weeks. And let me tell you, they live life differently. No rush, organic, fresh food, and beautiful women. And that's the thing about it, guys. I done heard so many stories about guys going to different countries and not getting sick, because of, like, in America, we got a bunch of processed food and stuff like that, you know, not really having stomach issues and nothing like that, feeling better, looking better and stuff like that. And my brother Kevin said he was in Colombia. Um my thing is, like, I'm kind of nervous about South America. Like, I'm purposely going to Asia because I love Asian women, but I do want to travel the world. But I think that my mate, or the woman that I'm gonna be with, is gonna be from Asia, and I'm gonna have to go there, and find her. Not like South America. Like, I know a lot of people do speak English, but like Spanish just confuses the heck out of me, bro. Like, um, I wish I knew Spanish. 'Cause if I knew Spanish, then I'd be more willing to go to South America, like Brazil, Colombia, and stuff like that. But I know, like, in Asian countries, like Japan, like Malaysia, like the Philippines, um, Korea, Vietnam. I know that a lot of the people in those countries speak English already, you know. And the women are plentiful. But um let's see what else Kevin said on the last messages. Um he said you would do very well in Asia, brother. I'm a black I'm black and Asian. My mother is Vietnamese. Good woman in Asia. They love us there also. In fact, that's exactly what I've been seeing, guys. I've been seeing like the cost of living and stuff like that is like totally different, and a lot cheaper, and all the stresses that we have here in America is just totally different. But let's get back to America, guys. Let's bounce back to America. So a lot of guys, like I said, either you're gonna work a 9 to 5. You have to. A lot of us don't have no choice but to go to work. We live in a time period where everything costs money. You can't even park your car in most places. You can't even have a car without paying and drive it on the highway without paying for insurance, without paying for your registration every year, putting gas in the car. And a lot of us are not homeowners, and they're building these high rises and stuff. We need money to survive. So And a lot of us black men in the black community, a lot of us a lot of us we're descendants of slaves in this country. Like I told you, I don't my history goes back so far, and that's it. I don't know nothing else. I only know my grandfather, my great grandfather, and his father. That's it. And so, like I was saying, either you're gonna either either you're gonna be in America and work that 9 to 5 and save that money, or you're gonna end up homeless. You're gonna end up begging. I see guys out here begging women, begging men, uh, uh, guys taking penitentiary chances. Um, it's a lot of guys walking around, a lot of modern American black men walking around in a lot of these areas. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these states walking around with not even a dime in their pocket. Don't you know that that there's a lot of black men that don't have a bank account and never had credit, in this country? Guys, this country is just in America, this is just like a Nintendo game. It's just like a PlayStation 4 simulation. Meaning that you know how you level up, you gotta you like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. It's the same thing. And what I'm seeing is a lot of guys haven't even got to a lot of black men haven't even got to a place where they actually like the job that they have and they like the income that they're making. A lot of guys be having issues with people not knowing how to communicate, not knowing how to hold their tongue, you know, and stuff like that. And if you come from a poor background like I did, then there it's inevitable that I was gonna have to be busting bricks. You know, it was inevitable that I was gonna have to go and do what I had to do. And guys, it's sad that I remember being younger and like nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. You have to go out here and earn some type of paycheck because it's a level. You know, once you beat that level, you can oughta use that level and level up and your pay grows and you can just keep your job and keep working and get money. But if you don't have an income, if you don't have an income where you can get money every day, you know, like usually when you work a job, you work like 5, 6. Some people even working 7 days a week. So if you don't go to work, you ain't getting no money. So if you don't have some type of, you ain't leveled yourself up to a point where you got $100 coming in a day, then that could be an issue. You know what I'm saying? $100 a day is $700 a week. And with the prices of everything, and the way the economy is and stuff like that, it's only gonna get harder in this country, you know. But I done seen people make it, literally make it off working a job. Like I done seen people go from working a job to buying a food truck to keep working a job. Then they buy all the equipment. The next thing you know, they go out every day and make $1,000 in a food truck. You know, or you have the other guy who opens a coffee shop in a booming area, but he been working a 9 to 5, for a couple of years, and then he start being like, "Oh, I got a year's rent. I'm about to open a coffee shop." You know what I'm saying? And that's when you're at a level where you don't have to work a job. You're a business owner, you know. And in this country, business is business. There's an unlimited amount of money. There's no peak in money, guys. Somebody, one of my Caucasian friends told me that, like, I was thinking that there was a peak, and stuff. I was saying that, like I'm getting to my peak, but he said there is no peak, and I was like, you're right. It ain't no peak. Money can grow and grow and grow. There's no peak when it comes to money, you know. But if you're not working a job and you ain't got no money, what else you gonna do? You know, but end up incarcerated. A lot of times the police just want to lock you up just because you're African American. You know, some officers, not all of them, a lot of officers just lock you up just because you're African. They want to lock you up because they think you're doing something that you're not supposed to do. Because a lot of black men, guys, you got to remember when crack hit, and all the robberies and the unaliving and the trends, the trending crime that's been happening in the black community. This not just happening for no reason. This happening because guys don't know how to manage money. Guys are not out here working jobs. They out here trying to do it, you know. They want to skip levels. They want to go from playing Super Mario on easy mode to playing Grand Theft Auto in real life and end up in a chain gang, you know. And the only way a person or a man is gonna make it here in America. You're gonna have to find some type of. I know a lot of people don't like to work jobs and stuff like that, but you got to think about it. There's literally hundreds of thousands of different jobs, and you telling me we can't find one job that aligns with me? They got jobs where people don't do nothing. Like, if security is your thing, like, you sit in the booth, being a security guard. You could be doing social media like me. I do construction, and by me doing construction, it aligned with where I'm at in my life right now. You know what I'm saying? It's perfect. I'm a smoker. I smoke cigarettes. I smoke marijuana. You know what I'm saying? I need to be outside. If I'm working on the inside, I'm gonna be running in and out the building, and they probably gonna fire me. I'm just saying, like, you gotta figure out what works for you. Sometimes if you don't have a job that works for you, go find a job that's gonna work for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I absolutely love working for moving companies. I like to drive because when I'm driving, I'm alone. I don't have to hear the smoke. When you're alone, you ain't gotta hear the smoke from all the coworkers, all the drama, all the he say, especially in the black community. That's what we do a lot of times in the black community. We get to talking about each other and all the drama start flaring up in the job. And a lot of people are not emotionally literate. They don't know how to hold cold water. They don't know how to hold water. So they'll snap and they'll be like, man, I'm done. I quit. Then they give up, and end up at your neighborhood Chevron, your neighborhood 7-Eleven, your neighborhood Walmart, Kroger's, Publix, King Supers in front of the store, asking people, hey brother, can you spare me $1? Can you spare me $1? Can I hold something? Hey mom, dad, sister, brother, hey, I'm broke right now. Can I hold something? You know. Just nobody don't want to be around nobody who begging all the time. America is difficult enough, especially for black people and black men in particular. Difficult enough. We go through a lot of stuff in this country already to try to come up for it to be hanging around somebody who leeching, who mooching, you know, who probably gonna be homeless until they break the curse. And guys, you know what the curse is? The curse is not wanting to go and clock in on somebody's job, you know. And that's the crazy part about it. A lot of people don't want to do it, but it has to be done, especially like, guys, one day, I'm already 35. A lot of I don't know how old a lot of my subscribers is and stuff like that. But one day, if I'm lucky enough, I'll be 50. I'll be 55. And I'm like, dang, like you telling me I couldn't take 20 years from my 20s to my 30s and stack up and invest my money the right way so I can live the rest of my life abundantly. 'Cause one day you're going to be 50 and you're going to want to be living your best life. You're going to want to be relaxing, going out, smoking a cigar, playing golf, taking a vacation. And that's why you see a lot of the older black men in the black community who was our age in the 80s when crack cocaine was so heavy, because these are the guys who decided that they wanted to party. A lot of them turned to alcoholics in the black community. We got to call it for what we see it. A lot of our older, the older black men in the community are alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? They can't really do anything. They can't go from Louisiana and fly to California and stay in a hotel for 2-3 months at a hotel and then date a chick, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. It's gonna cost you. So either you're gonna work and build your life up now, because one day you might be in a position where you get hit by something, where you can't use your legs. I'm just saying, like this flesh that everybody, black man, we want to be hood dudes, gang, all this stuff, yeah. But one day, you might be in a position where you done lost the arm. We're humans. You done went blind, can't see no more, can't hear. You done lost your feet. Or something that hit you or ran you over. You done lost a limb. Now you can't work like that. So, guys, I'm telling you, man, we gotta get to the money. Get to the money now and save up for a rainy day because it's coming. And no matter what, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, either you're gonna level up and complete the mission, and live abundantly, or if not, you're gonna end up in front of your local convenience store, gas station, or on the corner of the highway begging for change. And trust me, I've been there. So I'm not telling y'all nothing I ain't did before. You don't want to work. What else you gonna do? You're gonna start committing petty crimes. Then those crimes are gonna escalate to bigger crimes. Then, then a lot of guys start begging for change. I've been there. I done begged for change, guys. I done been there. You know. Well, guys, that's all I got for the video. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and I'm gonna holler at you guys on the next one. I appreciate you guys.